Hello, and welcome everyone to the 2024 Torero Entrepreneurship Challenge. Yay, we're so excited to be here. We're excited to have friends, family, community. You know, it's everyone from across campus, faculty, staff, students, but not only campus, the greater city of San Diego, county of San Diego, and many, many that are far, far away from us this afternoon. You know, for the last 5 or 6 years, the spirit of entrepreneurship has certainly grown at USD and in the Shiley-Marcos School of Engineering. We have faculty that teach entrepreneurship, that partner with faculty from other schools and the college in entrepreneurship. We have students from every discipline that are welcome to join the Torero Entrepreneurship Challenge. It's a wonderful, wonderful community from everyone being engaged. But it's more than that. In the last 5 or 6 years, we've invited in not only faculty, but mentors who come and help our students change, morph their projects. We have created degree programs around entrepreneurship, and we have judges who will come in and make decisions like they did for this evening's competition. So thank you all who have done this, and the great support we have in the background, the staff who have spent many, many hours getting this prepared for today. Tonight, well, it's actually this afternoon, we're going to reward some very promising, exciting projects that embody technical innovation by making some awards from the Larry Kull Endowed Student Award in Engineering fund that we have. This is awarded to the teams that are most likely to exceed as a business venture. The top prize this evening will be $5,000, and then there are various other awards with various other amounts that we'll be giving. So, let's get it started. Thank you for being here, for making this event possible, and please join me in welcoming Professor and E-Track co-faculty lead, Jeff Tezza. Jeff.
Thank you, Chal. All of us at the Shiley-Marcos School of... No, that's not going to cut it. Thanks, everybody, for showing up and supporting our students in this effort that they've made, because I can tell you they've kicked a lot and they've worked hard. We've spun around the loop a couple times, and you're going to see some interesting presentations today. So let me tell you a little bit about how things work, okay? The teams were eligible across the campus, and we asked them to submit a PowerPoint presentation and a short video, which we call the elevator pitch, but some of them got beyond the elevator. And you're going to see those videos today, and the judges, of course, have already seen those and the PowerPoints, okay? The eligible teams basically have to have a technology component to their value proposition, to the business idea. And that's how we differentiate the tech awards from other awards that are happening on campus, such as the Social Innovation Award and the Fowler Business Concept Challenge and things like that, okay? We focus them on refining their value proposition, their market fit, validating customers, et cetera. But probably most important is we want to instill an entrepreneurial mindset amongst the students. So the students submit these ideas, and then they schedule time with myself and Dr. Venkat Shastri. And if they're not very far along, we'll sometimes encourage them to meet with Doc Roberts, who basically helps coach them so that maybe next year they can submit. But basically this year we had 13 submissions. And as we coach these submissions, we try to get them to think in terms of 3 things. We try to get them to think about curiosity, about what it is they're trying to do, all the elements of it. And I think entrepreneurship starts with curiosity, okay? The second is we try to teach them to think about the connections, not just the technical connections of electrical, mechanical, computer, software, et cetera, but people connections. We want them to think about adding to their team, talking to people outside of the area. What is the connection to the industry structure and those sorts of things. And then finally, we talk to them about creating value. And creating value is really about thinking backwards from your customer. What are the problems they need to solve? How are you going to solve them? What are their alternatives? What are they going to do if you don't show up? Those kinds of things, okay? So essentially, I'd like to also tell you about a little bit about our esteemed judges, okay? Our judges basically have a very broad background, both in terms of entrepreneurship and angel investing and business in general, okay? And so these judges, and one of the judges, Anthony, actually is CEO of a company that essentially found its roots in USD, which is Direct Medical. And so they basically took the 13, they've whittled it down to 5. They are now looking at the PowerPoint presentations and the videos, and they're going to basically, behind the scenes here, they're going to be trying to figure out who's first, second, third, and who are the promising ones. And so to give you kind of a quick rundown of what we're going to do, while the judges are doing that, we're going to show you the video presentations one at a time in no particular order. And then there's some questions that we have, and we're going to basically ask the students that created the presentations the questions, and then we're going to move along, and you'll get to see all 5 of them, as well as the students and their reaction to the questions, okay? So to kick it off, we're going to start with a company, an idea, a prospect, and it's called UFlow.
Imagine a world where every student, regardless of their background or learning style, has the power to unlock their full potential. I'm J.R. DeFita.
I'm Zach Kinsler. And I'm Sina Azizi. We are UFlow, a pioneering edtech company building the future of education by removing barriers for learning using cutting-edge AI technology.
The concept of how learning works has not dramatically changed since the dawn of the printing press. However, in the past decade, the world has seen an exponential increase in the number of tools available to students. Yet every day, millions of students struggle with learning and processing new information. To put this into perspective, 2023 reported the lowest student test scores and highest teacher burnout rate in the past 30 years. These tools are a barrier to learning. They're a barrier to what can be possible if learning was easier.
UFlow is an all-in-one solution which tailors itself to each student's courses and learning needs. Unlike anything else in the market, UFlow has performed rigorous testing to identify the strengths and weaknesses of each large language model. We then meticulously crafted a pipeline of highest performing and lowest cost LLMs which can ingest and understand course material accurately.
So, to give an overview of how our tech works, UFlow begins by processing student documents, gaining insights from the topic and materials. Then, UFlow generates comprehensive notes, study guide. It curates flashcards and designs a chatbot equipped with information from class documents and lecture recordings. Simply put, UFlow fast-tracks learning to knowledge.
Now, you would be asking, how are we uniquely qualified to solve this problem? As a double major in biology and economics, I recognize the shared challenges across educational disciplines. My experience in taking nearly 300 units provided me with unique insight into the complexities of student learning and the need for a comprehensive tool that navigates the varying requirements of each discipline. This understanding empowered me to design an engaging interface that caters to the specific needs and tools of each field, while offering common functionality shared across disciplines, resulting in a solution that streamlines the learning process for students.
My studies in industrial engineering taught me to break down a system into its core components and understand the influence and significance of each component. When building our pipeline, each educational discipline brought its unique challenges. By having a systematic approach to these challenges, close collaboration with SETA, and working with students studying varying courses, we were able to overcome and exceed even what the best AI companies can produce for student learning. And you might ask, how did we achieve such a deep understanding of student needs? The answer lies in our unique understanding of the market. My experience working with Sina and JR to build the pipeline and gain a deep understanding of UFlow's possibilities prepared me well for canvassing the market. This hands-on approach aligns with a key lesson I learned while studying industrial engineering. To properly evaluate a problem, you must go directly to the source where the problem occurs. Being a college student myself, I embarked on a journey to directly engage with my peers. Through deploying boots-on-the-ground tactics, I interviewed over 200 students, ranging from members of fraternity and sorority chapters, D1 athletes and coaches, to just everyday college students. I've immersed myself in the very fabric of student life to understand the nuances of their learning challenges. Due to my knowledge of the systems, I was able to translate these needs from student challenges to technical innovations. This grassroots approach has allowed UFlow to grasp the needs of students in a way that other ed tech companies simply cannot. They're looking in from the outside, while we're living the student experience every single day.
At UFlow, we're not just building a product. We're building the future of education.
Join us on our journey and be a part of the revolution.
Very cool. You know, vertical applications of these large language models are hot, right? There's lots of money getting spent. These models are being released. And I think these students have found a live one here, and they're right at the bleeding edge of what we keep calling AI, which is really, to a large degree, referring to these large language models. And so here's one of the questions we have. How do you guys think this will help underserved communities to access opportunities that they might not otherwise be able to access?
I think that's a great question. The main reason we built UFlow was to democratize education and to give the same student who does not have any income from their parents or the extra jobs they're working, the same opportunities and resources as a student whose parents are multimillionaires. And so with these large language models, what we're able to do is bring you the same tutoring that you would get as someone who's very wealthy, who comes from a very wealthy family, who also comes from a very wealthy and educated family. We give you the same resources as a family who has maybe not gone to a college or has not graduated from university.
That's great, Sina. I believe that. You're creating a virtual tutor, essentially, right, to help them.
Correct. Yeah.
So here's another one that came in. So this seed money hopefully will help you grow. Where do you see yourselves like in the next, say, 1 year and then even longer term, maybe 5 years out?
Absolutely. So in the next year, we're going to expand our offering to be specialized to the tutoring that you go to. And so when you think about tutoring, you don't go for a science and bio tutor, you don't go to a math tutor. And so we're going to take the application that we have and further drill down on the verticals. So we're going to have a math tutor, we're going to have a biology tutor, we're going to have a chemistry tutor, we're going to have a writing tutor. And so we're going to keep building on top of that and expanding our offering. Within the next 5 years, we see two paths kind of merging. First is the ability to get this as an institutional product that's available to all students, both at the high school and middle school level, as well as at the university level. So it becomes similar to a learning management system, but AI baked in. So everyone can take advantage of that without having to spend extra money. On the other avenue, we also see all the majority of textbook companies today are having difficulty selling their products to students because they're usually either very hard to read and understand, or there are better resources available for free. So we plan to bring those capabilities that we've built and we know people love to those textbook companies and their textbook products by making them more engaging and more easy to understand.
That's fantastic, Sina. I'm excited about it. I think you're in a cool space. I think it's going to happen, and you guys seem to be well teed up to take the lead in some of this stuff. So next up, we have Lift Switch, and the Lift Switch students are actually part of the School of Engineering Senior Design as well. And so Derek, who I think kicked this off, also gets an A from me for recruiting because he was able to recruit a lot of his fraternity brothers to join into the project, and you'll see why. It's because they're all avid snowboarders. So take it away, Lift Switch.
Now for a quick introduction of the Lift Switch team, I'm Paxton Earl, and I'm a senior double major in finance and real estate.
My name is Derek Johnson, and I'm a mechanical engineering major.
My name is Mitch Cito, and I'm a computer science major.
I'm Noah Schliessman, and I'm studying electrical engineering.
I'm Josh Corby, and I'm a mechanical engineering major.
Born in Salt Lake City, Utah, I've grown up snowboarding my whole life. During my junior year, I was snowboarding, and I began noticing how awkward and uncomfortable snowboarding is relative to skiing. Your ankles twisted awkwardly while in the chairlift, and when you're getting on and off the lift, you're facing the opposite direction that you're moving in, putting awkward pain in your ankle and knee. I brought this idea to Derek to see how he could help me as a mechanical engineer, and we competed in the Fowler Social Innovation Challenge. As semifinalists, we received really positive feedback from the judges and investors, and from there, we recruited more intellectual horsepower to help turn this concept into a business reality.
In order to recruit more members, I decided to pitch this as an entrepreneurial venture at the Senior Design Capstone Project. We recruited a team of fellow snowboard enthusiasts from members of our USD fraternity Beta Theta Pi, where we all belong. Team Lift Switch is an interdisciplinary entrepreneurial venture with members from both the Shiley-Marcos School of Engineering and the Canal School of Business. In the fall semester, we entered the Lift Switch concept in the Fowler Challenge and received the second place prize and scholarship, which we split amongst the team, which was $7,500 of scholarship money. Now we want to enter the tech competition so that we can win seed money for the company and turn this idea into a reality.
So kind of a quick demo on the pain points that we're trying to solve here at Lift Switch is this orientation right here is how snowboarders typically ride a chairlift on the mountain. So they'll have their dominant foot strapped in at all times and their non-dominant foot not strapped into the board. So what happens is that the board is hanging at a really uncomfortable angle off of your dominant foot. And as you can see here, this angle is already causing ankle and knee pain for the rider. And then we're trying to solve this at Lift Switch. In regards to how the Lift Switch binding solves this issue, it'll allow the rider to bend down, pull this pin, and freely rotate the binding to a 90-degree position, which allows them to ride the chairlift like a ski, reducing the torque applied to your ankle and knee. All right, now here is the after shot of when the rider adjusts the Lift Switch binding and can now ride the chairlift with the snowboard hanging like a ski. And as you can see, there is no torque applied to my knee and ankle, alleviating all the discomfort and pain from my leg.
One of the other use cases for Lift Switch is when you're taxiing to a chairlift. Usually when you're on the flats or you get stuck and you're snowboarding, you have to unboot one foot and then you have to do this awkward shuffle looking like this. And that can be really cumbersome if you're a beginner snowboarder, and it'll slow down everybody else when they're in line for the lifts. But with the Lift Switch, and if you turn the binding 90 degrees, you'll be able to put your foot in like this and ride the snowboard like this. The final components of the Lift Switch solution is an electrical sensor which has been designed by Noah and a Swift application which has been written by me. The sensor can deliver accelerometer data, magnetometer data, and gyroscope data all in real time and sends all of that data to the application, which then plots your runs on the map. The application can remember all of your runs throughout the day and just show you how you did on a day.
That's great, guys. I have a feeling you guys all want one of these, if I had to guess.
Oh yeah,
And-
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that students that are actually a proxy for the customer, it helps a little bit because, I think back to Steve Jobs creating the iPad and the iTunes, whatever he thought was a cool, audio machine, probably everybody else would. And so my guess with all you guys being snowboarders, whatever you think is a good solution to the snowboard problem, you've got a good case going. But we do have some questions, okay? And one of the questions is, so you launch this thing and it's successful and you're selling it. What are you going to do next? What's the next product? Have you thought beyond just this first product for the company?
I would definitely say staying within the snowboarding equipment market. It's growing a lot right now at a 4% CAGR over the next 10 years. So if we can really gain a lot of traction within this specific binding, make it sticky for the customers, then we can diversify, maybe make our own binding so that it's not just outsourcing it to a snowboarding manufacturer. And then from there, we could even go further into snowboarding apparel. And then if the company keeps diversifying, we maybe even go into skiing. But I think for right now, the main focus is really just making sure this product gets sticky enough amongst all the snowboarders as possible.
You want to be the GOAT in snowboarding. Snowboard
Yeah.
bindings. So next up, kind of a similar question I asked the other student. What will this seed money help you do over the next, say, 1 year and farther out, maybe 5 years from now?
So we've been working on this alongside my friends here as their senior design engineering project. So we've been using the school's equipment with 3D printers and also computers. So this funding would help us continue using equipment beyond graduating, to be using also materials to help build it and also design. And then also additionally, a huge hurdle that this seed funding would help us with is legal protection for our intellectual property. So this is unique technology that hasn't uniquely been protected. So that would really help us with filing a provisional patent and then also communicating with lawyers to get a solidified patent. And then after that, it would just be continue production to really help with our manufacturers and really get further in on the design process.
Sounds like a smart plan. Go to market by getting somebody else to manufacture it and then bring that in-house, lower your cost, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good job, guys.
Thanks.
Next up, we have somebody on a Rebel. He decided to do something not, something simple, like an underwater semi-autonomous drone that inspects critical infrastructure. I don't know about you. That doesn't sound easy to me, but this thing kind of looks like a manta ray, at least the pictures that he's given. So this is a company that's called Scout, and take it away, Scout.
Hi, we are Honorable Industries, and we are building technology to protect critical infrastructure from potential threats. My name is Honorable Walker, and I'm a senior electrical engineering student here at the University of San Diego, and I have past experience working in construction engineering, being a part of a fellowship to commercialize NASA technologies, and even working in aerospace and defense. Working on projects ranging from building a life science building for a company named Turner Construction here in downtown San Diego, and even supporting the build of 2 rockets for a company named Astrospace in Silicon Valley.
Hi, my name is Christian St. Clair. I'm a junior computer science student at the University of San Diego with a background in artificial intelligence, engineering, and computer hardware. I've been building computers for the last 7 years, and I've been programming for the last 5. I also have experience in submissive watercraft competitions like Sea Perch, a program that has a focus on completing underwater tasks with robots.
Hi, my name is Clarice Santiago. I am a mechanical engineering senior and former D1 athlete with a background in 3D modeling, VDC, and HVAC design while working for P2S Inc., with experience working with a variety of subcontractors and sales.
Critical infrastructure affects every nation and industry worldwide, serving as a key foundation to a productive and prosperous global economy. However, 80% of all critical infrastructure is underprotected, exposing it to potential attacks, threatening public safety and economic stability.
How do you think we manage to connect across continents and communicate with others far away? You might think it's all about satellites or cell towers, but there is much more to the story. In fact, a staggering 99% of our digital communications traverse through underwater sea cables. Yes, 99% of all voice, data, and internet globally are facilitated through these underwater sea cables, including over $10 trillion of financial transactions daily.
According to the International Cable Protection Committee, which is a nonprofit organization that looks to protect underwater sea cables, there are an average of 150 incidences of damage to undersea cables each year. After speaking with key contacts within the industry, it can cost them up to $2 million to repair a single cable. It also can leave over 10,000 civilians without any form of communication to the rest of the world. This signifies a huge problem for the economic stability and public safety. There have been instances of deliberate interference where nations in conflict or disagreement have targeted these undersea cables in acts of sabotage. Just a few weeks ago, the Houthis cut 3 sea cables in the Red Sea that disrupted 25% of the traffic flow. To highlight the severity of this issue, 12% of all global trade goes through the Red Sea. Our service would be to safeguard the vital undersea cables that are the lifelines of our global communication network. We foresee using semi-autonomous inspection drones ultimately striving to train the drone into a fully autonomous inspection vehicle. The service we offer for our customers will be our end-to-end solution for the protection of submarine cables systems, including but not limited to our menu of drone abilities: monitoring and inspection, maintenance and repair, diagnostics, and emergency response and recovery for all telecommunication companies we work with one of our service products, Scout, our groundbreaking sea cable observation underwater threat detection system. This semi-autonomous underwater vehicle is engineered with a singular focus to safeguard the vital undersea cables that are the lifelines of our global communication network. Scout is not just a drone, it's a guardian, equipped with advanced artificial intelligence to deliver real-time data analysis, deep sea exploration capabilities, and unparalleled high-resolution imaging and sonar technology. These features are for maintaining the uninterrupted flow of information across our interconnected world. With Scout, we are not just monitoring the present, we are protecting the future of global communications.
Scout can also leverage hive mind technology, an artificial intelligence technology that would allow multiple scouts to communicate with each other. This would help with monitoring and surveying the water. Our autonomous drones will use highly efficient cameras and sensors to detect all major potential threats for anomalies and any extra threats for underwater sea cables. Our subsea cable and inspection service will focus on sea cable landing stations, where they are more prone to be cut and damaged. Most sea cables can reach a depth of 6,000 meters. However, the ones that are cut and damaged are less than 2,000 meters below the water, and that's going to be our focus. Our semi-autonomous drone is well equipped with the technology to withstand that pressure.
There are only a few competitors in this space. Companies who lay subsea cables currently take on all the costs associated when it comes to repairing sea cables. Companies are willing to pay upwards of $3 million to a company like ours to not only protect subsea cables, but also make sure that they are not cut or damaged. Our service is built for our customers by building a relationship with them to protect their underwater sea cables without having them to worry about a single repair. We alleviate these worries because that is our singular focus. As I mentioned before, it can cost over $250,000 to $1 million to repair a sea cable, and we will offer a firm fixed price for our customer and provide a service based on the jobs to be done.
Honorable Industries is led by our dynamic team. We believe it should take us 6 months to develop a minimally viable product. We have also compiled a group of advisors from all industries, ranging from sea cable companies themselves, General Dynamics, who led the Navy in underwater autonomous vehicles, and another individual who previously served as the Vice President for Supply Chain for Tesla. And this year, we saw $2 billion in investments into autonomous drone technology, which is increasing 22% per year, especially because of the demand for unmanned systems. Underwater sea cables are our focus, but we could also patrol landing stations and even oil and gas pipelines, which are also a part of underwater infrastructure.
With that being said, we're looking to raise $800,000 on a safe 20% round discount. And this will help us with our technology, our new hires, sales and marketing, and our R&D team so that we can deliver our service effectively and efficiently to our customers.
Thank you for following along.
Please help us protect critical infrastructure.
We are Honorable Industries.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Wow, guys. That's pretty exciting. You know, it seems to me, I didn't realize 99%. I knew it was a bit, I thought it was 98.2, but I'm just kidding you. That 99% of communications goes underwater. That means there's a ton of cables down there, isn't there? You know, we've been dragging them around for many years, I think. So there's a couple questions, though, that come to mind. And one of them is, how deep can this Scout thing go?
Yes, absolutely. So that's a good question. So first off, so the deepest that most sea cables goes about 6,000 meters, which is like really, really deep. But that's not where they're being cut. They're actually being cut anything above 2,000 meters. So we actually plan to go as deep as 2,000 meters because that is closer to the landing station.
Okay, cool. So that's where the action is 2,000 meters. I guess below that, it gets pretty tough to get down there.
Yeah, you have to have a high level of equipment and money to get down to 6,000 meters to cut a sea cable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So what's weird here is this is a kind of a unique space, right? Inspecting, I mean, infrastructure is one thing, but cables in particular. So what inspired you to think about this as an idea for Tech 2024 and this challenge?
Yeah. Well, I guess so for me, I'm an electrical engineer, as mentioned in the video, and something that I really care about is first principles thinking. And I apply that to my ideas, and I think that in reality, there's not really many ideas that can be successful if critical infrastructure isn't protected. Meaning, if you can't just call someone, use Wi-Fi, you can't use the internet, you can't do these simple things, then there is no innovation that kind of comes out of this. So the reason why, we wanted to enter this competition with that idea is because critical infrastructure is the backbone of society. And if that's not protected, then nothing else can be innovated or even built if someone does cut it.
Good show. Yeah. Thank you, guys. That was good. Okay. We're getting through them. 2 more to go. 3 more to go. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. I can count to 5. Keys to success is up next. Wait until you hear Nicole's journey to get to where she is as an electrical engineering student at USD. I think you'll be very, very impressed. And she also gets an A for recruiting because she's managed to pull some business expertise together. And so she's already doing a good job that all entrepreneurs have to do, and that's talk people into their vision and their company. So with that introduction, I'm going to introduce you to the keys to success.
Hello, I'm Anna Rusk, and this is Nicole Ramirez, and we're presenting Keys to Success. Our mission came out simply from heart.
As someone who went through an extremely differential educational path, the opportunities for getting exposed to different types of STEM fields were limited and impossible to reach without the guidance or determination to do it myself. My path into STEM first started at the local computer repair shop, where I was able to get hands-on experience, exposing me to the world of computer hardware and software, and I've loved it ever since. From my learning journey, I understand the importance of open source learning and hands-on experience, which leads me to my project, Keys to Success. This project is based on the idea of exposing students to a wide variety of STEM fields and encouraging creativity through do-it-yourself mechanical keyboard kits.
In a sense, the current leaders defining innovation are counting on us. The world is in big trouble and it needs spectacular innovations to solve big problems that we're facing.
Our first mechanical keyboard kit will be a 3x3 hand-wired macro pad due to its introductory size. All of the base skills learned from the construction of the macro pad can be applied to bigger mechanical keyboards or even different projects altogether. One other way to build the macro pad is with a printed circuit board design. Creating the mechanical keyboard from scratch is a perfect stepping stone into STEM topics such as electrical engineering, EE, mechanical engineering, ME, and computer science, CS. Everyone who uses a computer is already familiar with what a keyboard is, which makes the conceptual introduction a smooth transition. CS skills are used when coding up what each key press will do using JavaScript and C. These key bindings can range from normal key inputs all the way to key shortcuts, such as copy and paste. Mechanical engineering comes into play when constructing the actual case for the keyboard. Making the case will expose students to 3D modeling softwares and 3D printers initially, and the user can expand into more case materials. The natural shape of the keyboard, being squares and rectangles, allow beginner users to not be overwhelmed when constructing their kits. Constructing the keyboard by soldering the key switches to a microcontroller, such as an Arduino, exposes the users to the field of EE. Expanding more into the field, the users will also learn about Arduino pin configurations by reading datasheets and resistors. As the DIY kit become more complicated to a full-size keyboard, the customization options dramatically increase. One customization is adding more keys for different languages which don't use the generic keyboard layout. Further customization options can have a light-emitting diode, LEDs for short, and can open a new learning world about semiconductors, which is a whole STEM field on its own.
The industry space here is indirectly correlated with the unique offering Keys to Success provides. Current competitive leaders offer keyboards that are customizable at a price point egregiously higher than the cost to create and that aren't built with the goal in mind to educate. Jumping into the market opportunity here, the total addressable market, $537 billion, represents the total value of student engineering projects. The serviceable attainable market represents the mechanical keyboard industry as a whole, as the essential idea is to provide both the learning opportunity but also the final product. The serviceable obtainable market, or the value of who our target customer is valued at $750 million, representing the realistic buyers in the DIY kit market. This factors in high school and college students who have an interest in electrical concepts and want to teach themselves. The goal for Keys to Success follows a simple 4-phase business model. Starting with phase 1, integrating beta test kits and manuals into Engineering 102 classes at USD, UCSD, and PLNU. We plan on refining the provided materials in Phase 2, integrating engineering-focused high schools to the launch plan, with the purpose being to refine instructions and uses for the kits. Before jumping into Phase 3, we plan on applying for the Department of Ed SBIR grant to launch us into Phase 3 and 4. In Phase 3, we want to integrate into women in STEM affiliations. Starting off with summer programs and conferences and being an entirely women-founded team, we hope to reach female audiences that are interested into breaking into STEM. After the network is built between WeSTEM, Keys to Success wants to launch a PCB offering to add other technological approaches. Jumping into Phase 4, we'll integrate our product into the rest of our college network into engineering classes across the country. Thank you for listening, and we appreciate your time. Again, this is Keys to Success.
Yay, Keys to Success. I love it. You're an edutech company. You like the intersection of edutech and the DIY market is like a multi-billion-dollar market. People don't realize how big it's become. And it seems to me like with a lot of off-campus learning as well, you could create things like the kits you're talking about to essentially create labs, if you will, that's affordable for someone to do at home or someplace like that. So let me ask you a couple questions, okay? You talked about like LEDs and customization. Is there a way to help assist people with disabilities or like movement disorders or something like that by creating keyboards that are specially designed for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with the whole concept of it being so customizable, it really can be applied to anything. So, for example, if someone has a harder time pressing the keypad for like a regular computer, saying that like it's just harder for them, I can make it so that the key switches is just easier to tap. If we were to kind of expand into it and I were to get, funding and be able to research more stuff, I could even do like just like slight taps to make it work. So.
Cool. So I'm going to ask a similar question I asked a few of the others. So if you have seed money from the Tech Challenge, where do you see the company, how much progress do you think you can make in the next year, and where do you see yourself maybe farther down the road, your vision maybe 4 or 5 years down the road?
So the seed money, I feel like would go more towards the manual and really making sure that my instructions are very sound and going towards just buying the kits, trying to give it to like my friends and my fellow students and being like, hey, tell me what looks weird so I can go back and fix it. I know that because it is DIY customizable, it's going to forever be something that I'm going to have to make more instructions for, which just seems like a really fun task to me. So that's what I would do. And I would also progress into beta testing and going into printed circuit boards.
Fantastic. Good show, guys. Good one.
Thank you.
Okay, who's up? We're up to our last video, and this one is called Battery Revive. And this is actually also another senior design project. And I think there's a mixture of things involved in this, but basically the students are watching the electrification or the fast electrification that the world's trying to do and realizing that this is going to create a problem downwind, which is what are we going to do with all these batteries, not just for cars, but I don't know, people know that January 1st, you can't buy a small gas engine in California. Everything like lawnmowers and weed whackers and everything have to be battery powered. So I'm going to turn it over now to Battery Revive and see what their solution might be.
It is estimated that by 2030, the electric vehicle market will increase by 6-fold. Globally, there will be 150 million EV units on the streets. Consequently, by 2030, an expected 60 million EV batteries will be discarded.
Incredible video shows 9 Congolese miners unexpectedly popping out of a collapsed.
My name is Demly Pichai.
My name is Julian Bayende.
And together we are representing Battery Revive. Currently, when a battery is disposed, 3 different things can happen. 1, it goes to a landfill. This isn't good because there are a lot of toxic chemicals that cause contaminations. Additionally, there are fires from careless treatment of lithium-ion batteries. The second thing that can happen to a disposed battery is that it will be cut open in order to be diagnosed using software. This is incredibly toxic and bad for our environment, and there's an abundance of resources that are needed to fund facilities that are equipped to deal with the toxicity of cutting open a battery, as well as the human power and the time it takes to cut open the battery. The third thing that can happen is that the battery will essentially be incinerated or dissolved into its most foundational materials and minerals using harsh chemicals. Our solution is to determine what the remaining energy capacity of a used battery is. Doing so will allow us to repurpose it to maximize its full potential, and we won't even need to cut open the battery. Our solution is efficient because only a few tests need to be run on the batteries in order to diagnose that battery. Our solution is sustainable because instead of a battery being disposed after it is no longer able to power its primary application, we can repurpose it through a suitable second life application. And 3, it's cost effective. We don't need to put any resources towards creating a facility that has the safety precautions to physically open and analyze a battery. We are currently in the process of collecting both simulation data and experimental data from a small-scale battery. We are implementing multiple software methods in order to begin to predict the battery capacity and the future battery behavior of our small-scale battery. A couple of the software methods that we are using is neural networks and Kalman filters.
Our mission is to use engineering as the medium through which we can uplift marginalized communities. Through integrated engineering, we are very aware of the implications that we as engineers can have on the communities that surround us and on the social context within which our engineering takes place. As such, yes, Battle Revive does contend with the fact that energy is wasted, but the implications of its impact are so much broader than that. Turning used into useful, one battery at a time.
Used into useful. I like that. There's your byline right there. So Demily and Gideon, we have a couple questions here. Okay. First is, how do you think if you're successful and you can repurpose batteries, how do you think it'll impact? How much of an impact do you think you can have on climate change?
So climate change is huge right now. It's the topic that everyone is talking about. And a really big proponent of this are carbon emissions. And as we continue to use non-renewable sources of energy, the amount of carbon emissions that we are releasing as a society is just going to increase, especially as our population grows, as we are trending towards more advancement in our cities. And by reusing batteries and using it as energy storage and also as an energy source, we are now tapping in to what is before this wasted potential energy and using more renewable sources of energy. And so this will definitely help us lessen the impact of the carbon emissions that are fueling our climate change right now.
That's fantastic. You know, efficiency has been the most important thing that's happened as the U.S. has declined their emissions over the last 10 years because of LED lighting, because of migrating to natural gas from coal and all those things. And so being efficient with batteries is really important, that we don't just throw them away, right, when there might still be some electrons that we can milk from those things. And that's what you guys are really focused on.
Yeah.
Another question, what inspired you guys to think about this repurposing batteries to create this tech challenge presentation that you did? What's the motivate? Is it like, are you guys just totally into batteries? Or are you into the social benefits? What's driving it? Is it AI and the technical thing? What do you think is the oomph that's got you guys going on this?
Yeah, and I think, so for me, I am originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and which is, where, there's a heavy sourcing of cobalt and other minerals. And so being, coming from the other side and seeing the impacts of, the whole mining industry and the effects that those things could have on the people back home. And now being on this side where I'm an engineer who has the chances of, obviously coming up with certain solutions, I understand the implications of as we're transitioning to more EVs, more mining is required to be able to sort of keep up with that supply. And so that's where the sort of inspiration came from, just the fact that I was on the other side, and now that I'm here, finding a way to be able to have some sort of impact. And that's sort of meaning behind it.
Yeah, definitely. And especially just being in our engineering class, our integrated engineering curriculum does a great job of teaching us how to shift our thinking from fueling a linear economy to a more circular economy. And right now we are just producing these batteries and not even utilizing the entirety of the potential energy that a battery may have, only to throw it into a landfill, which is incredibly toxic, but also incredibly useless, because there are a lot of materials and minerals that go into an EV battery that are a lot of the times unethically sourced. And so really diving into this wasted potential energy was something that we decided to look at, especially considering that our tech can have so much of a larger impact.
I had a feeling it wasn't just looking at battery discharge curves that got you guys going. And so it sounds like that's the case. That's fantastic, guys. I love it. Okay. That's it. Those are the 5. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to reintroduce Dean Roberts and Elisa Lurkis. Lisa's responsible for both development and alumni relations, and worked diligently and continues to work diligently with donors to make the awards like the Tech Challenge possible. Okay. And I'm going to go make sure that the judges are doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is figuring out how these things rank. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Dean Roberts and Elisa Lurkis.
Well, thank you, Jeff. We really appreciate that. And now, Elisa, it's time to do something else. We got to stall a little bit while we're waiting for the final decisions to come through, right?
And here we are again.
Yes, again.
I thought maybe it would be important for some of the audience members to learn maybe just a little bit about our Engineering and Entrepreneurship Fund, a program, and to tell them a little bit about the Larry Kull Endowed Student Award in Engineering and Entrepreneurship. So you want to talk a little bit about the program?
I can. You were here from the very inception of the entrepreneurship program that we have some time ago. I came to USD 11 years ago as the founding dean of the Shiley-Marcos School of Engineering. One thing I noticed about the students when I first came is they'd look you in the eye, they had the ability to articulate, to speak, oftentimes with engineers. Sometimes we're just a little nerdy and a little techie, and what we do is we can really solve that technical problem.
I hadn't noticed.
No, she's not an engineer. And she notices all the time. She used to have to edit all my documents. Now I use ChatGPT.
Sorry, go on.
Anyway, often engineers have such great ideas, but they're sometimes not able to sell those ideas. And they don't know all the pieces involved in getting a business plan together, finding financing, and presenting that to other people. And even though some of these projects that you've seen are a little bit in the earlier phase, I really like that. What we also discovered is there are so many students with these ideas, and entrepreneurship has caught on not just around the country and at USD, but almost everywhere. So, Elisa and I were out in, I think it was Phoenix, wasn't it?
Yep, in Arizona.
We were in Arizona, and we had an alum contact and say, hey, I want you to meet somebody. And we met David Cohn.
Yep, we met a man who was not at all connected to USD, who helped us create this engineering and entrepreneurship program and helped really get it off the ground. Sadly, David passed away at the end of last year, but he really left a legacy in creating this program.
He did. He helped us a great deal. I'll never forget that lunch. We walked across the street and sat down, and eventually led to him saying, we've got to do something with engineering and entrepreneurship, and I want to help you get there. And he did. And he brought in a number of other people who started to mentor, to help us, to provide some funding, to start an entrepreneurship program that grew from just an idea to a mindset, to courses, to programs, to teaching, and to just about everything else.
Yep. And then in 2019, something else happened.
What? Tell me what happened in 2019.
Well, I, out of the blue, got a phone call from somebody named Randy Vosti, who said that he used to work for SAIC, and he wanted to create something to honor SAIC's former COO and president, Larry Kull. Now, Larry Kull sadly passed away in 2018, but apparently many SAIC colleagues, many of Larry's family and friends wanted to get together and do something to honor his memory. So we discussed it, and we came up with the idea of the Larry Kull Endowed Award in Engineering and Entrepreneurship.
Wow, we have to thank Randy Vosti. But isn't he that guy that has the guitar collection?
Yes, he does.
Oh, and we've seen it, haven't we?
Yes.
And it's pretty phenomenal, isn't it?
We could talk a long time
About the
that,
guitar,
but, yeah.
but we're not going to talk about the guitar collection right now. But so what did Randy do? What became of this?
Well, so, you know, I've been working with donors much of my career, and Randy was very optimistic that we would be able to raise around $500,000.
$500,000
in for this award.
That's pretty big for us, you know.
It is big
$500,000 for engineering and
Yeah.
a new school is very big.
So I was hopeful, but I remained sort of cautious. I wasn't sure that was going to happen. And basically, it became the most extraordinary donor experience of my entire career. Checks started coming in every single day for months. I mean, it was clear that Larry was a very beloved man, and people wanted to donate their personal funds to honor his memory. And so now we have over $500,000 in this endowed fund,
Wow.
which is amazing.
That's pretty great.
And we spin off approximately 4% every year, and that's what we use to make the awards that we're going to be bestowing today.
And so this award could live on forever.
Well, that's the idea, that it's going to live on in perpetuity. Yeah.
And we could also get more, couldn't we? So anybody else wants to donate to this fund would be happy to put your money in that endowment, would we not?
Very good point.
Yes, she makes me say that everywhere that I go.
So now we're going to show you a little bit of a video to tell you a little more about Larry, and then when that's finished, Dr. Venkat Shastri will come and announce who the winners are.
All right. Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Shel Roberts, Dean of the Shiley-Marcos School of Engineering, and I'm excited to tell you that over the past year, we have raised about $400,000 to endow the Larry Kull Award for a student in engineering and entrepreneurship. It is our great pleasure to share with you the inspiring story of Larry Kull and how the donation from his friends and colleagues will enable students and a student team to create an enterprise into the future that makes impact in the name of Larry Kull.
Dr. Lorenz Kull, or Larry Kull as he was known to everyone, led San Diego-based Science Applications International Corporation as its president and its chief operating officer from the 1980s into the 1990s. A practical engineering sense derived from his early enlisted service in the US Navy always informed his technical brilliance as a physicist. Moreover, he was an astute businessman. Never tried to put something over on a guy from South Chicago. His dealings with co-workers and competitors alike were marked by integrity and honesty. Larry was passionate about helping others. Humble, generous, and with unswerving loyalty, he was the very heart of SAIC.
Larry was such an extraordinary man and positively affected so many of those around him. After his passing, friends and former colleagues Hugh Kendrick, Stephen Dallage, and I wanted to find a way to honor him in a far-reaching way he so rightly deserved. USD's E-Track program grabbed our attention. USD had the right combination. It is a smaller university where an award like this wouldn't get lost in the shuffle. And USD represents the kind of values that Larry would have embraced.
We are so grateful for the generosity of Larry Kull's family and friends for helping make our students' dreams possible.
Hi, y'all. It's Venkat, and I'm so happy that all of you were able to attend this Tech Challenge of 2024. I have the pleasure of announcing all the winners from the finals list. And so before I do that, I want to make a couple of announcements. First is thank you to all the audience. You actually give us a view of the level of interest of this program across all communities, student community, faculty community, and parents, relatives, friends, everybody. So thank you so much. This event could not have happened without the help of a few people, and I want to acknowledge all of them. I want to say thank you to Michelle. I want to say thank you to Ryan. Ryan was a fantastic help in this. I want to say thank you to Dot. She helped the students a lot, both mentoring and helping them in the 3D printing lab. I want to say thank you to Hattie, and last but not least to Paula. All of them helped us, and without them, none of this could have happened. So I'm going to start with we have four categories of prizes, and I'll explain them to you again. We have the most promising category. We have Platinum Award, Gold Award, and Silver Award. Now, before I make the announcement, I just want to say one thing, which is that in these categories, it doesn't matter where any of the team sits. All you have to remember is that if you have the passion, if you have the drive, if you're committed to your idea and you want to bring it into the market, you can do it regardless of where you stand between 1 and 5 here. And to tell you that it's real, all I'm going to say to you is the guy who founded Kentucky Fried Chicken went up and down and met more than 360 investors before he got the first one. And each time he took an investment meeting, he had buckets and buckets of chicken that he did with his famous recipes. So all of them feasted on the chicken, but only one investor stood up and signed a check. So all you need is that one investor after this to sign the check to take you to the next step. But hopefully what we'll have here will take you through from where you are to where you need to be to actually have your vision presented in a better way to a potential investor. So in the most promising category, we have 2 teams, and I'm going to announce both the teams, and I would like to see if you can come up on the screen here. Oh, you're already on the screen, and I'm going to talk to you guys and have a word or two. So the 2 most promising teams are Scout and Battery Revive. So congratulations to both of you guys. So Scout, you guys have a really good project. You got to think about how to bring it down to your minimum viable product, because the problem we're addressing is a big one. So try to think of what is the smallest piece of it you can address and grow in the market. And like you said, mission critical communication could very well be in your hands tomorrow. Congratulations. Battery Revive, I want to see you in class. I love working with you guys. You're a great team, and the problem that you have is real, okay? As Teslas get to, as an example, 80,000 miles or whatever, we're going to have all those batteries come off. And right now, the solution that you're thinking about is probably going to have the least carbon footprint in terms of repurposing them in their second life in various applications. So please keep it up. This means that you did great, but it still means that you have to work hard through the rest of the semester in class with me. Okay? Now let's go to the Silver Award. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to show a check. And I forgot that, so let me show the check. Here's a big check. And one each will be for the most promising. So please come and collect it from Paula or from me. If you're interested in having this put on your wall of your company in the lobby to show that the first time you got money was from tech. Okay? Then we go to the Silver Award. The Silver Award goes to Keys to Success. So great job, guys, in what you did. You guys have really cracked a very important problem. It's DIY, yes, but the way in which you guys do the DIY, and Nicole, especially what you said about having all of the instructions very clear, that will be key to addressing all diverse populations that you want to address. And please think about using this as a stepping stone to making the adaptation of the keyboard become better and better and better. And in the process, what you might find is a new design for the keyboard itself. Okay? So both of you guys did fantastic. I'm happy that you're a part of the finalist list here, and go and do the best you can and build this company. I want to see it trade, as Misty said, in the NASDAQ index, okay? Good job. And here is for you guys the fake check that you can get from us, okay? Fantastic job. Now we come to the gold award. The gold award goes to Lift Switch. Again, another one of my teams in senior design. You guys did great. You actually have a proto nearly working. So this is now set in stone that you're not got no excuses anymore to not snowboarding every time you see a slope. Okay? So think of this as your first product, and think of other innovative products to build a company around your passion, which is the active life during winter. You can make that active life during summer and or all 4 seasons around. So do what you can with it and build out from this one product into many products, many technologies, many services, and go out there with a bang and make it worth it, right? Your prize money should take you to the next step so that it can actually get the funding that you think you need to go all the way through. Congratulations to you. And here is your $4,000 fake check. All right?
Yeah.
And then this is very suspenseful now because we really don't know yet who is the Platinum Award winner. I'm kidding. You, Flo, fantastic job. Okay? You guys are actually on a great mission, and I want you guys to go out there and help all of the underserved communities that you can, because those students do not have the kind of infrastructure that they need. I mean, I don't know if you know, even in schools that are well-funded, the student to counselor ratio is horrible. The tools that they have to do the selections that they need to figure out where they fit is not good. It's very weak. So go out there and show how you can add value and show that you can make money while adding value. This is a great mission you guys have. And I'm very proud to say that in 2024 Tech, you guys have got the Platinum Award and the fake check for $5,000. All these will be real money, but the check is fake. Okay? So I am very proud to be the person who finishes this event. This is something there that in engineering, we started as a very small program. And thanks to what all of the people who appreciate Larry Kull and have been a part of his life and have had him in their lives, what they made us do is expand the scope of this program. So please come and join us next year. Hopefully we'll be bigger and better. And hopefully you will have more exciting projects to see. And I'm happy to say that we finished early. So just go out there and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you all. Give yourself a big round of applause.